everyone, welcome to another episode of rawradianthealth.com, and I'm Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So today is Thursday, and today I want to talk a little bit about my opinion on different cleanses out there. Specifically, I want to talk about the liver gallbladder flush and also talk about the Psyllium Bentonite cleanses. I get a lot of emails, especially recently, over like the past month. I can't tell you guys, it was almost like every single day I was receiving at least one or two emails, people asking me specifically, what do I think about doing like a liver and gallbladder flush, and what do I think about the Psyllium Bentonite cleanses and other cleanses as well, with using herbs and things like that. And I've even had people I know, like, approaching me and asking me about this stuff as well. And it's really hard when it's like face to face, when like I can't even hold back my facial reaction to it, because to be quite honest with you guys, I'm not into these cleanses at all. And it's like the moment someone just mentions it, it's like I just become kind of, I don't know, like I look sour. I look like I just ate into a lemon. I'm just kind of like, oh please no. So I can't even hold back, and I've been kind of avoiding this question on the blog because I like to bring out the positivity in things, and I like to support things, and there's certain things I just don't support, and I have my own reasons for it, and a lot of this is actually personal experience, and a lot of it too is actually doing research, and speaking to people and seeing what other people have gone through themselves, and I guess the first thing is that I want to first say, before I go into these two different cleanses, is that when people do any kind of cleanse or any kind of fasting, depending on the kind of diet and lifestyle they're coming from, and this is usually the majority of people, will have good results, okay? Because for a certain amount of time, whether they're doing like the master cleanse and they're just drinking, lemonade, or they're drinking, the Psyllium Bentonite shakes, or, doing a quick little liver gallbladder cleanse, whatever it is, for those days or perhaps even weeks that they're refraining from eating any kind of food, and any kind of junk food specifically, or, just allergenic food, things like that, when they're refraining from having any kind of food for that time, they are going to feel better. They're going to look better. They're going to, because they're giving their digestive system a break, okay? One way or another, they're not taking in, endless amounts of fast food and candy and fried food, things like that, that most people are coming from a diet like that, okay? So any kind of cleanse you're doing, whether it's like, the Arise and Shine, or you're doing like a juice fast, whatever it's going to benefit you to a certain degree. But what I also have to say is that it's kind of, you have to be gentle with yourself, and I find a lot of these cleanses are not. I find them to be abrasive. I find them to be, people are just popping pills. They don't even know what's in them. It's like, you take all these different herbs. Do you know what these herbs are doing and why you're even taking them? So, these are things to question, to think about. And I have to, honestly admit that I myself, at times don't even think about these things either, until afterwards, until something goes wrong or I don't feel good, and then I'm kind of like, okay, wait a minute, what am I taking, what am I doing? And I guess what I'll first talk about is the Psyllium Bentonite cleanse, okay? And there's a lot of different variations of this out there. Some people just make a little shake using psyllium, which is from wheat, okay? It's a fiber, it's coarse, and they mix that with maybe a little bit of water or juice, and they put some bentonite clay in it, okay? And they take the shake a few times a day. They might, in the beginning, be eating food with it, and then they slowly kind of build it up, and then go in a juice fast while taking the Psyllium Bentonite. And they sometimes take laxative herbs with it, and other kind of supplements with it. They might have colonics with it, or enemas, things like that, to move things along. Now, my issue with the Psyllium Bentonite cleanse is, first of all, the bentonite. It is known, most clays are known to have aluminum in it, and also some clays even have heavy metals. So that's something to think about. Do you want to be taking in a substance that has aluminum? Specifically because we do know aluminum does affect people's neurosystem, their memory. It can also contribute to Alzheimer's and to other issues, okay, with the brain. And do you really want to, or the nervous system, do you really want to be having any kind of issues, or do you want to be actually feeding into, potential problems later on down the road, okay? We know that aluminum is found in a lot of deodorants, things like that, and nowadays a lot of people that are finding this information, stop using those deodorants that have the aluminum in it, it's common sense, stop using cooking pots and pans with aluminum, because no one wants to get Alzheimer's, no one wants to have problems with their brain functioning. I mean, no. So it's kind of like, you have to think about that, but on the other end of things, it's kind of like, how often is someone going to be doing a psyllium and bentonite cleanse? If it's once every few years, then it's no big deal, and it's only for a few days, and it's just trace amounts of aluminum. It's not going to be such a huge deal, for some people. For other people, it might be a big deal. So that's something to think about, and then there's other cleanses out there that don't use the bentonite, but I know there's the Ajuva cleanse, which uses other herbs as a means of detoxifying the body. And they use that in conjunction with psyllium and flax and chia seeds, things like that. So there are other versions of this type of cleanse. But the thing is too, is that what I'll tell you from my own experience, and I've done the Arise and Shine, I've done the Ajuva cleanse, and I have more of an issue even with the psyllium, okay? If anyone out there has any kind of wheat allergy or sensitivity, they do say, oh, psyllium's not a big deal for people that have gluten intolerances. I myself have one, and I've had really bad reactions to psyllium. But I know other people that don't have a gluten intolerance that are fine with it. It's from person to person, but that is something that if you notice that you're having issues, then you've got to stop these cleanses, because you could be doing more harm than good. And a lot of times I think people get onto these cleanses and they think, oh, it's like no pain, no gain, right? And that is not the way you should be looking at doing a cleanse or doing a fast. You should be looking at it as a means to be supporting your body, to be gentle with yourself, to take care of yourself. When you're doing a cleanse, when you're detoxifying, you want to nurture yourself, you want to treat yourself like a baby, you don't want to be like taking in all these like laxative herbs and, feeling, like you got stomach aches all the time and just, just feeling awful. That's not, that's not what it's about, it's about giving your body a break, letting it clean itself out, and that's another issue I have, it's like you want to be gentle with yourself and allow your body to do the functions it needs to be doing. You don't want to be pounding yourself with all sorts of weird stuff, okay? So this leads into the liver and gallbladder flush, taking that lemon or grapefruit juice, or some people use orange juice with the olive oil, right? And they make this crazy shake, and they drink that, and then they drink like an Epsom salt or a salt water solution that flushes out their intestines, and this, throws out all these so-called stones, okay? And recently, a friend of mine had just done a cleanse, and we were hanging out, and he was thinking about doing, the liver gallbladder flush, and my reaction to it, it was just all over my face, like, oh no. And I didn't want to say anything because, it's like, people got to just do what they got to do, and if there's a reason that one feels they need to be doing something, then who am I to be stepping in? But there just came a point in the conversation where I couldn't even help myself to just sort of say a few things. And so we ended up doing like a good search over the internet to actually see, because I've read a lot of things about how, supposedly those little pellets or those little things that they say are gallstones that you're releasing, that supposedly it's actually just made out of that olive oil and bile pretty much, and it's just sort of like, the end product of mixing bile with olive oil and lemon juice or grapefruit juice. It's not an actual gallstone. And so we actually did a lot of research on the internet, and there was a lot of information that actually came up, you know, saying that, and also that people have done tests, you know, seeing on someone that has gallstones, you know, after doing the flush, doing like a CT scan or an MRI, to see if, you know, it's still there, and, you know, the gallstones are still there, that it's like, well, then what are these things? And they've done like tests too on these pellets or stones that people release and what they're really made out of, and it's concluded that it's made out of that olive oil. So it's up to you whether, you know, you believe that what you're releasing is really gallstones or not. And at the same time, it's a very, you know, abrasive procedure. If anyone's ever tried it, especially drinking an Epsom salt solution or salt solution, I mean, you know, it's terrible on your intestines, and it's like, why put yourself through that, you know? And they use that same type of solution also on the Master Cleanse. And I'm not into just being so harsh on the body, you know? And I have to honestly say, if someone came to me and they had, you know, gallstones and they wanted to eliminate them naturally, I would not be recommending doing that flush. Definitely not. Okay, I mean, it's like, you know, that to me, you could be putting yourself in harm's way. So I don't know, that's just my opinion, you know. So and I don't mind stating it and allowing you to make, you know, your own decisions for yourself. But again, I just want to remind you that a lot of times we hear of these great experiences and we see people that have just done these cleanses, and, you know, and we're kind of like, you know, they look so great and they lost weight and their eyes are shiny and their skin looks fantastic, and I want that, so I'm going to go and do this cleanse. But you have to remember that it's not necessarily the cleanse or what they're taking in and all that. It's about what they're leaving out. That's why they look so good. The reason why someone that does any of these cleanses looks so great after is because they've left out the meat, the dairy products, the fast food, the fried food, the, you know, the hydrogenated oils, the sugars, the high fructose corn syrup. They've left all that stuff out of their diet for a good few days or a good few weeks. Of course they're going to look good. You know, it's like, it's not about drinking that olive oil down. Trust me. And so I guess what I do want to end with saying is that, like, if you want to do anything, the one thing I do stand behind is doing like a liquid diet, like doing like a juice fast or juice feast, things like that, where you're bringing in, first of all, you're taking out all those terrible foods, and you're bringing in a lot of nutrition through the juices. And it's gentle. You're not taking in any kind of laxative herb or any of that kind of stuff. You're just nurturing and nourishing your body and taking it easy. You know, that's a gentle thing to do, you know, or even just getting on a raw foods for a while, you know, and just eating whole foods even, you know, that itself can be very cleansing and a good break for your body, and you will see results from that. So, you know, you don't need to be so hard on yourself. You don't need to be, you know, doing these crazy detoxes. You know, take care of yourself, love yourself, you know, treat your body like it's your temple. You don't want to be scrubbing it like crazy, you know. It's just, I don't know. I mean, that's my opinion, and that's what I have to say about it. So on that note, I do want to remind you guys that next week we are starting the 10-day juice fast. And so this is gentle. We're just drinking juices, 12 to 16 cups of juice a day. So if you are active and you want to still conduct your daily life, go to work, and even, you know, do a little bit of exercise, things like that, you can do it doing the juice fast, because it is more of a feast. You're drinking plenty of nutritious, freshly pressed juices, and it's just a good break, you know, off of all that crazy junk food and fast food and all that stuff. And it's just a matter of, you know, taking 10 days to just take care of your body and just rejuvenate, regenerate, and just feel great. Okay, so if you want to join us, beginners are welcome, experienced juice fasters, everyone. It's great support. There's 10 videos for the 10 days. There's a forum where I'm there every day giving support, answering questions, everything. So you're not alone. Really, your hands are being held through it all. All right, so go to my website at www.rawradianthealth.com. Click on juice fasting and sign up there. Have a fabulous, fabulous day, everyone. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.